Disclaimers. Disclaimer number 1. I'm French Canadian, which means that English is not my main language, which means that there is a possibility you don't understand what I'm saying throughout the video. So if that's the case, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. Disclaimer number 2. This entire video is nothing but my opinion, so you can disagree with me. Doesn't mean you should, but if you do, it's completely fine. Disclaimer number 3, I think I'm completely qualified to judge and critique you because I'm a tiny chat talker, which means that I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so my name is Pascal, but most of you know me as Zoomyx. I'm a lip syncer in this community and I was on 2 seasons. I finished 3rd on season 2 and I won 3 challenges. I was never low, and then I went to All-Stars, and I was top 3 every single week, but I finished 2nd because Dor Panthera decided to win 3 weeks out of 6, so he won. Okay, so I'm here to judge the 3rd week of Season 5, High School Stereotype Weeks, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to talk about all of the videos that were posted on Reddit, in the order they were posted, and I'm going to tell you what I liked and what I disliked about them. So, let's get going. Shadyguava. Shady, I think you had one of the strongest videos this week. I think you look like you were having a blast, which is always really cool to watch. You have a very clear stereotype this week, which was kind of the goal, so I think you succeeded with that. And the second I saw you, I knew where this was going, I knew what you were going for, and I was completely on board with you. I absolutely love the song choice. And I really like the way you move. I think you have a great balance between doing too much and not doing enough, which keeps your video very entertaining. I was never bored watching you. And I love all the little quirks you did and all the little props you had. And when you showed your fingers and you realize you have 8 fingers up, so you raise the 9th one. And then when you show us the book and it's this horrible drawing inside, or when you look at it with the binoculars at the end and she realized you're watching her. So I think you created a really great story and it was very clear, and for that I think you succeeded this week. Honestly, I don't think there was anything bad with your video. I think you came pretty close to a perfect thing. The only little thing that I would say maybe, but it's just a nitpick, it's at the end of the video when you're going down and the music's fading. You actually start going down before the music is fading, and then you turn the video black while the music's fading. But if I was you, I would have went down and turned the video black at the same time while the music's fading. I don't know if this makes sense, but like, you fade with the video, so it would have been a better end in my opinion, but it's like a huge nitpick. It's a small thing. So I think you did amazing this week. Good job. Paprika. So Mushi, I really think you had a good video this week. I think you fit the theme really well. I think it was really intelligent at the start to arrive with the makeup because it really set the mood and it really explained well what kind of character you're going to be. So 2 thumbs up for that. I really like your song choice too. I think it was really original and I think it totally worked with your character. I think the things you need to be more careful about was when you had the bottle, I think it was a bottle of pills, I think. It's not really clear what it is, so I think you should have showed what you were going to throw on your head before you throw it on the head, because we kind of see it, but not long enough to understand what it is. Maybe it's just me, I'm kind of stupid, but for me it wasn't clear. And when you put it on your head, we don't see the pills, I think, so that wasn't really clear. The other thing I think you could have improved on your lip sync is at the end, the last verse, the last chorus. I think you should have been more crazy because you just said you're not gonna eat, you're not gonna eat, you're not gonna eat, but then you keep the same kind of character that you did the entire video. I think your video would have been better, in my opinion, if you were more in your face at the end, because like, you're kind of crazy. She's not gonna eat for like 3 days because she want to be a supermodel. So I would have loved to see that a little bit more. With that said, I think the things where you excel the most is the way you mouth your words. I personally really like that. and I really like your characterization at the start of the video. You're really good to set the tone. You look really pretty too. You're like a pretty good drag queen. I really like the improvement from last season. And yeah, I really like when you emote too. That's something I really appreciate throughout the video. When you interact with the things, you have a lot of emotions in your face, which is why I think at the end it would have been better if you completely lost it, because you're so good at emoting, and I think you would have been good at emoting even more. So good job. I think you did great, and I liked you. Alright, so David, I think your video was good, but I think it could have been better, and in my opinion, it's really not the best video you've done so far in the competition, especially if we take into account the video you did before the competition. So let me explain you why I think that. Alright, so I'm going to start by talking about the things I liked about your video. So I really think your character was really realistic, and it really fits the theme. The second I saw you, I knew what your character was, and you kept it the entire video. So that's a really cool thing, so 2 thumbs up for that. I wasn't really a fan of the song choice, but that's all personal opinions, so I can't really blame you for that. The things I didn't like that much about your video is that I think you could have done so much more to fit with your character. I think you definitely had a character, but I think that throughout the video it became a little bit boring in my taste, because mostly the only thing you did during the video was move like this or move like this and back and forth and back and forth. And I would have loved to see more emo stuff, or not necessarily props, but if you're not going to do props, do interesting movements or do something more. Because I think it stayed on the same note the entire video, and even during the screaming parts where you had much more emotion because you were screaming in your face, after the screaming part it just went back to where it was, and I wish it would have gone somewhere else. Phoebe, the bad thing is that I think that this week is the weakest week you've had so far in the competition, at least in my opinion. But the good thing is that I think that despite this being your weakest week for me, I still think you had a really good video, so good job for that. Alright, so my favorite things about your video is, first of all, you had 2 very distinct characters with 2 very distinct personalities, so that's really cool, especially since this week is all about stereotypes. And the second thing I like the most about your video is that the setting behind you, the green screen, the personality of the character, it all fits really well together. You also knew all of the words, so good job for that. The things I liked least about your video is that I feel like you could have made it more entertaining, because a similar critic that I said to David is that you don't really do much during the video. You just talk on the phone and lip sync your lips. So you don't really dance, you don't really move, you mostly just talk on the phone. And my favorite parts about the video is, I don't remember what he does, but the male character you had, the guy, during a music break, he just started dancing. I thought it was hilarious, and I actually liked the guy more than I liked the girl during your video. So yeah, and that's it. I think your movements were hilarious during the music breaks, but I wish I would have had more interesting movements throughout the video, especially since it's a phone conversation. So I would have loved to see your characters more doing something, maybe, instead of just standing there waiting while the other person is talking. You could have done something with that character. Maybe he starts texting another girl, or he starts saying hey to another guy at the party or something. I think you could have done more. I still think it was a good video, so yeah, good job. Electra! Okay, so Electra. My favorite part about your video is that you have a very handsome boyfriend. Yeah, he looks really cool. I felt like during some parts of the song you had a little bit of trouble with your words, and it felt like you were just mashing your mouth, which I'm familiar with, but I think you could maybe practice a little bit more. But it's the first time I actually see that during one of your videos, so maybe it's a one-time thing, but I still noticed during some part of the video that you had a little bit of trouble with your mouth, so check that. I was not a huge fan of the song choice for this. I think you fit the theme because clearly you have a concept, and you do fit a certain stereotypes. However, I don't think you expressed enough of that stereotypes. Your movements didn't always read jock to me, so maybe work a little bit more on that. You did have a lot of props, so that was cool. It kept the video entertaining. Towards the hand, it was a little bit too much for my taste. The mouth action and the penile action was a little bit too much for what I like in videos. But maybe it's just not my taste. So really, what I think you could have improved is mostly knowing all of your words, or if you knew all of the words, maybe I just didn't watch well. Maybe mouth them more or emote more, because I think you had some really great videos so far in the competition, but this is really not one of my favorites. Yeah, have a good day. Okay, so I felt like my comments weren't really helpful, so I'm going to show you what I mean when I say that I think you didn't move like a jock during the entire video. So during the video you do a lot of this, which arms. I don't know how you do it, but to me it doesn't read jock. And I think if you would have been a jock, you would have been more center on your feet and don't move as much. And when you move, you actually have a purpose in your movements. I'm not going to do it because clearly this is not my job to do a jock. But to me, a jock would have been more stoic and doesn't move as much. Anyway, that's how I feel it, and that's what I feel like missed in your video. So yeah, okay. Have a good day. Adrena. Alright, so Adrena, you had one of my favorite videos this week. I think your video was nearly perfect. Your stereotype was really good, it was really clear, and completely fits the theme. I absolutely adore the song choice. I think it's genius. Your use of props was perfect. Your use of green screen was perfect. But what I like the most about you, and I've liked that since the first video I saw from you, is just the way you move and the way you follow every beat of the song. And when you lip sync, it's crazy how good your movements are. And I'm gonna make you example of the parts of your videos that I like the most, but they're gonna be less good because I'm not a dancer. So when it goes, you get mad and break things. I don't remember what you do exactly, but you break things with your hand. I think it's genius. The other parts that I absolutely love is when you say, I will judge you too. Okay, so the first time you say it, you have your little pen and I will judge you too. I think it's great. But what I like even more is when you actually did the, I don't remember what you did, but like, I will judge you too. Snap. I think it's genius. I really love how you move. This video was great. I don't have a lot of bad things to say, honestly. And another thing I absolutely love about you is that you do that pretty much all the time. You actually have an ending to your video, which a lot of people don't do for some reason, but you actually have a real story throughout your video. And at the end of the video, there's an ending. And this time it's like the guy who talks to you, but I remember in your audition, which was mostly you dancing, and you still had an ending to video where you just leave the frame. So I think that's really cool. Honestly, the only bad things I have to say about your video, it's not even a bad thing. It's just that I think the green screen could have been a little better. But other than that, this was perfect for me. Really love your video. Good job, great job, amazing job. Woo, Adrena, Adrena! Lush! Alright, so Lush, I think you're hilarious. I really like your video and I think you did an amazing job this week. For me, this was my favorite video of yours and I've loved you since your audition, so that's really cool. The thing I like the most about you is your eyes. I think your eyes emote a lot, which is really good. A thing you can work on, in my opinion, is the way you mouth some of your words. It's never really a huge deal, but sometimes your mouth makes a shape that doesn't really fit with the sound of the singer, at least in my opinion. And an example I have for that is when it say, why can't you see, you belong with me, you belong with me. You do most like, what can't you saw, you belong with me. So I think you could work on that. I loved seeing Marcella pops out on the screen. I think it's really a great idea, and it's a smart use of the judge video, in my opinion. You stayed entertaining the whole time. You kept your character, but your character evolved and got kind of crazier when you cut your hair and all that stuff, so I really like this. I love how you move. I think you could move a little bit more in a strategic way. For example, when you said you've got a smile, I just wrote you've got a smile. Forgot what's the how she sings it, but when she talks about you've got a smile, the way you move, like you make the shape of a smile, and that's just like really cool because it's not just random movements. I think you could do a little bit more of those movements, but that was really cool. I really laughed when I saw the doll. The green screen could have been a little bit better with the doll, but that's just nitpick. What I like is that you got crazier as the video progressed, and I loved it. I think you could have gone even more crazy after you cut your hair, because that's a crazy bitch. She cut her hair and she sent him her hair. So I think you could have been even more crazy towards the end, but the way you smile at the end and with your eyes, it was still really good. So I think you did a great job. The only the only critique I have with your video was really when you were mouthing some of the words. So if you continue like that, honestly, I think you're improving a lot, and you could be a force to be reckoned with. Good job. Jasko. Rocks. Okay, so Jasko, I love that you named the stereotypes of your characters at the start, but I think you could have done a little more and name actually the name, and maybe make it as if it was the start of a TV show. You know, that those old TV show when Zoomyx, and the name is here, so I think it could have been a cool thing. I think you need a little bit more emotions in your eyes and open your eyes a little bit more sometimes, not all the times, but just to make a little bit more contacts. You know, like you lip sync, and then you have this moment where you open your eyes and you lip sync and you lip sync. It keeps the intention more on your face, and it makes the listener more entertained, in my opinion. I think you should have maybe a little bit more meaningful movements, because sometimes you do really cool movements that have a link with the lyrics, but other time you just bop right and left, which is fine. I prefer someone who bops right and left than someone who does absolutely nothing, so that's great. But if you just bop right and left all the time, it becomes a bit too repetitive for my taste, so maybe watch that. I would also like a bit more interaction with the two characters, because there was very little interaction, but they were like in the same room because the effect was so well done that it looked like they were standing next to each other. So maybe interact a little bit more with each other, that would have been great. I laughed a lot because at like 1 minute 25 the girls lip sync to the guys' parts, and then you realize it and you're like, I'm not even mad because I thought it was hilarious. I like the end when you got closer. I would have loved a clearer ending, and maybe again if the two characters actually saw each other's. I said a lot of things that I think you could have changed, but I actually really like your video. I think it was really cool. I really like the looks of your characters. It fits completely. It's really clear what kind of characters you are, so that's a plus. I didn't expect you to look like that as a guy. I don't know what I expected, but I didn't expect that. You look really cool. Really cute. What else? You knew the words, so that's great. You knew all your words, so that's cool. I actually really enjoy your video. I think a lot of things could have been upped a little bit more to make the video more enjoyable and more entertaining. But overall, I think you did a good job. So, good job. Meme! Okay, so meme. I think your mouth is absolutely amazing. It's crazy that you knew all of those words. It was a really, really tough song in my opinion, and you knew all of it. So good job on that. I don't think you had the best stereotype because it was not... I mean, it was clear because your song was clear that was what you were going for. But if I just look at the video, I have no idea what kind of stereotype you are. So I think you can maybe work a little bit more on that in the future. I love how you move. I think it's hilarious. Okay, I'm going to tell you the best part, in my opinion, of when you move. It's when you do this. Just the little movements like this, I think it was really cool. I also like when you... I don't remember, you just do this. I think it was really good. However, I think you need to be careful because most of your videos, your movement was just with your hands. You just did that. So I think you need to be careful with that because it becomes a little bit repetitive when you always do the same move. But when it was not this move, it was a move that I like, so that's cool. I have absolutely no idea why you have V8. I don't get why you took that. Maybe I missed something. I have no idea. I don't know what that was for. And I don't get either. You have two V8 in the. Is it V8 in English? It's French V8, so I'm gonna call it V8. So you have two V8 in the hand, and then you put one down, okay, and you still have one in the end, and then you pick the other V8 up, and you drop this one, and then you have a new V in the end, and then you put it back. I just didn't get the V8 V8 part, so maybe I'm stupid. I just really didn't get it. I think your strongest skill is clearly your mouth because it's really tight. It's a really tight lip sync. It's really impressive. But I think you can work a little bit more on the concepts because I love most of your movements. I like your mouth, but I think the stereotype wasn't clear. It was only clear because of the song, which is a good thing. But it would have been even better if you actually looked even more like your stereotype. And you had a little bit on the wall, but I would have loved even more. So I think you can push a little harder. Okay. Okay. Shawn. Okay, so Shawn, when your video started, I thought it was going to be really good, but when it ended, I didn't think it was really good. So I'm going to explain why. I think the introduction was fun. It was a little bit long, but it was still entertaining, so I don't really mind. I think at the start your emotion was fine. It fitted with the song. I think the peak of your video is when you got up and you threw the desk on the ground. I think that was the best part of the video, and I liked when you came closer to the camera, and I think it was really cool that you interacted with the classroom, and I think you had a clear stereotype. So all of that I think was really good. The problem I have with your video is that you nearly dropped every single anymore before the ended, and for me that was the biggest problem, and I think it's a pretty big problem because it kind of destroy the illusion that you're lip syncing. So most of the time when the singer had a long note, you would go and you close your mouth before the note's finished. So for me, it kind of break the illusion. I think at the end also, you were so close to the camera, so it's so important to know every single words. And I think that you didn't make the right decision by continuing to lip sync only to the "we're not gonna take it." I think you should have lip synced instead to the "come on, you're all as worthless as me." I don't remember the lyrics, but there's a guy shouting in the background, and I think it would have been more impactful if you did those lyrics because they have so much more emotion to them, and there's so much more like, look, this is my character. I think it would have been a better decision for you to do that. And since you didn't do that, and since you didn't finish every single anymore, and since you always cut at the end, it made me feel like this was a last-minute change song, which is not really a good thing. And it's kind of disappointing because at the start of the video, I swear to God, I thought this is going to be great, this is going to be great, and it was continuing, and I was like, this is good, this is good, this is good. And when I realized you were dropping the words before the end, then I was a little bit disappointed, and then you kept doing it, so at the end I was like, oh fuck. So, I still think the video was good, but I just was really disappointed because I felt like it could have been so much better if you just pushed more and just, not push more, just if you just synced better with the way the singer was singing. I think it would have really been an amazing video because it was already good, but I just disconnected when I realized that the syncing didn't match the video, at least for my taste. So I still think you did a good job, and I still enjoyed the song, but I think it could have been much more. So, Erika. Okay, so Erika, I think you had a bit of difficulties with the spoken words at the start. It definitely looked like you were lip syncing, so maybe worked a little bit on spoken words. However, I loved how you talked to Guy at the start. You just speak to the guy, and then at one moment you just turn around at the camera and you start talking to the camera. I think that was really powerful. Your look made me a bit uncomfortable, mostly because of the wig, but I think it fits really great with the theme. Speaking of theme, I think you had a clear character, so it really fits with the stereotype week. You had more emotions than in your previews in the lip sync you did before, so that's good. So good job on that. I also think that your mouth is better than before because you used to drop the long notes, but now you don't do it anymore. So great job. I really think you're improving a lot. I would have loved if you. Okay, I said that I love when you talk to the guy and then you turn towards the camera during the intro of your lip sync, but I would have loved to see that again during the lip sync. So, for example, and then during the chorus you say, "But I'm a creep." Do you get what I'm saying? Like, make it even more interesting. Like, you talk to yourself and then you turn towards us. Like, this is an internal monologue, and then I talk to you and I say to you, "I'm a creep. Look, I'm a creep." So I would have loved that. At 3 minutes 30, I think you could have pushed even more when she sings special and be a little more messy because the singer is like, she's going at it now. So I think you could have pushed a little more. And at 3 minutes 40, you say, "What the hell am I doing in here?" And you do something with your arms. But I think if you're going to do something with your arm, you need to be much more powerful than that because that's a powerful moment. But your arm just like, to me, it sounded like, "Oh gosh, what am I doing here?" And it should have been like more powerful than that. I love the ending when you faded away, so that was really cool. I think it's a good video overall, and I think you're improving a lot. Yeah, so good job. Sally. Alright, so Sally, I really like the look and I love your use of props. I think every week you have a really cool looks that you spend a lot of time on and it shows. So that's one of my favorite thing about you. It's not really my favorite song, but it fits the theme really well. So I have nothing bad to say about that. You're really weird and I really like it. However, I think there's one thing you need to be careful about, and you do that pretty much every single video, and every time I don't understand why you do it, so I'm just going to show it. Maybe I'm the only person in the world who gets a little bit annoyed by that, but I'm still going to tell you because that's the only time I'm going to do a video. So most of the time with your arms, I don't understand why you do that. This week's it kind of fits because your character is weird, but you do that for every single character. Like, you stop moving your arms here, so you just do your movements with this part of your arm. So you move like this, and you move like that, and you move like this, instead of moving more with your entire arms. And I think most of the time, like sometimes when you do this, it works. But if you do this, it's better if you do this, in my opinion. So I think that's something you could work on in your future videos. As I said, I think your look was cool. Sometimes also you do things with your mouth. That makes us lose the words. It's not really a big deal, but just when you had the cup of pills, I don't remember exactly, you were doing more things like this, so we kind of lose what you're saying with your mouth. You clearly spend a lot of time, and that's how I'm going to finish your review. You clearly spend a lot of time in your videos, and I really appreciate that because every single week I'm always super excited to see what you're going to do next. You always have a look, you always have a story, which is great because a lot of people just don't have stories, and I like yours. I also like how you sometimes do the two people next to you. I think you could mix it a little bit though, because we've seen that in a few lip sync of yours, that just two people next to you. But this week's was really good, it really fitted well. One thing I think you could do for the next video is just change your background a little bit, because it's pretty much always the same thing. Or if you can change it because you have to film there, no problem, but just modify it a little bit. Embellish it, add something on your background that fits with your video, just so your video every single week are a little bit more different. Other than that, honestly, I didn't know if I was going to love you the first video I saw you, but the more I see your view, the more I like you, so just keep going, you're doing the good work you're doing. I really enjoy your video, so good job. Jordan! Okay, so Jordan, I love the intro, it really sets the theme, and I think your character totally fits in the stereotype, high school stereotype. I think, as I said, you had a clear character, and I love the way you emote. It was really hilarious, like, you're really angry, I really like that. I also like the way you move. However, for this lip sync, I think it would have been in my opinion, a little bit better if you start without moving or moving just a little bit. Na 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 na. So when you come to the chorus, it's a big change. But just my personal opinion. Like you start with slower approach, so there's a build up in the lip sync, because during the chorus you were perfect, but for me during the verses you could have been more different than during the chorus because the song changes a lot between the two. Just my personal opinion. I think it was funny when you showed the Discord chat and then you took your pants off. I think it was a really funny moment. Clearly you're going for the thirst vote, so I can blame you for that. I like that your video had an ending, which is something that, as I said before, not everyone do, but I think it's so clever to do an ending and so logical too. I don't know why not more people do that. It has a clear beginning, a clear ending, a clear story, so I commend you on that, and I think you did a good job. I think you have a good mouth. The way you say your words is so unique, but it just so works a lot. I like your video. It's not my favorite video of yours, but it's still a very good video, and the only reason why it's not my favorite video of yours is because I think you've been killing this competition so far. So good job, and keep doing the good work. Okay, bye. Alright, so this is the end of my video. I was not expecting it to be so long, and I'm fucking done with this. So I'm just gonna tell you now who's my top 3 and who is my vote for the free pass, whatever. I don't think this person is gonna need this vote, but I'm still gonna give it to him because I thought about giving to someone I think might be in trouble, but then I didn't think it was fair, so I'm just gonna give it to the people I think did the best this week, and I hope this person is gonna win the week. So in third place I have Lush Monsoon, because I think you did an amazing video. I think you're improving a lot. I think you listened to critics, and I think you had a clear character that was very interesting, and I love your eyes. In second place, I have Shadyguava, because I feel like your video was pretty much perfect. I love your character, I love your song choice, and I love pretty much everything about it. And in the first place, we have Adrena, because I think this is the best video you've done so far. I love how you move. I think it's so amazing. I love every time you follow the beat. I think it's great. And I hope you're going to win this week, and I hope you will be top 3 because you're one of my favorite. Okay, bye!